Welcome back to Smartboard Magic episode 4. I'm Erika, and today we're going to talk about the infinite cloner feature. Because I teach math and algebra, and I love using algebra tiles with my kids to help them understand the concepts, I'm going to use this particular concept to teach you about using the infinite cloner feature. So an infinite cloner feature is what it sounds like. It infinitely clones things or makes copies of them repeatedly without you having to push a lot of buttons. Algebra tiles are fantastic because they actually allow the kids to explore algebra tactily, concrete objects. So if you remember from algebra, 5x's is an unknown. This rectangle represents an x. I'm going to do a little editing here. Because I already have my feature, I can do both fill and line at the same time. So a positive x, we're going to color it green. And I'm going to clone it just simply. And I'm going to also create it in red because that represents a negative x value. This represents a simple unit, 1, or if I had 5 of them, it would be worth 5. Let's use the same color I did before. I'm going to clone that one. Oops, it's not supposed to be green. It's supposed to be yellow. Because that's what color algebra tiles are. So negatives are always red. Positives are different colors depending on what type of object it is. So these little sticks represent an x and then a negative x. These represent 1 and negative 1. So if I have my kids modeling this equation for me, I want them to be able to grab this, drag it over, but I certainly don't want to do it 3 times for this and then 4 times here and 5 times and so on. So let me go ahead and set up my board to represent the 2 sides of my equation. And now I'm going to just highlight all of these, use my drop-down menu, and select Infinite Cloner. You'll see a little infinity symbol when I click on it. So that means these aren't going to go away, but I can grab them and drag them and make as many copies as I want. And then these copies can all be deleted. But if I try to delete this one, I'm hitting the button. It won't let me. So if I want to model this equation, I'm going to model 3 x's and then plus 4. So positive 4 is going to be these little yellow guys, 4 of them. And see how easy it is to grab it? So if you're teaching in a lower grade and you want to model counting principles and things like that, you can have a little colored bears or a bunch of different triangles, whatever you want. If you right-click it, it's going to show you that little infinity sign, infinite cloner. And here we have -2, which we will represent with the negatives. -2. I might want to put a little box around these to let my kids know that these are separate. So now I have my models, and I can show my students that, oh, we can take away 3 from this side and 3 from this side because I'm doing the same thing to both sides. We hit delete. They're the same. I'm not going to go into actually modeling how to solve this equation, but I wanted you to see a useful reason for knowing how to use the infinite cloner page. Now, I did just spend a lot of time creating these little rectangles, coloring them the right color. So now I'm going to go ahead and clone my page. So if I click this option and I say clone the page, it's going to give me another copy of it. So now if I want to do a different equation, here we go, 2p minus 8 equals 1p plus 10. I can delete these pieces and then go ahead and model my equation again, but I don't have to spend a bunch of time re-cloning all of these, and they still work the same. I want to show you another example of how this might be useful. So let's say I'm in a lower grade and I want to make a pictograph. I'm going to make my pictograph about how many laps the students did at recess. I found this image of a shoe. I'm going to flip it. left to right, so that it's going the same direction. But when I put my shoe over here, I see how it kind of hides that. So I'm going to use that image transparency feature that I talked about in episode 1. So now I can say that 1 lap equals a picture of a shoe. You could have the kids come up to the board as soon as you turn this into an infinitely cloned object, and we can say, okay, kids, if Manny did 3 laps, what will his pictograph look like? And we can just drag as many as we want, and the kids can come experience this for themselves. I hope that this has been a useful tutorial, and enjoy your day.